from your hometown news source. This is WALB News 10.
Today, the state funeral service for former President Jimmy Carter concluded by celebrating and honoring the 39th President of the United States. Public visitation to pay final respects at the U.S. Capitol ended today at 7 a.m. A motorcade that passed the White House on its way to the Washington National Cathedral for a national funeral followed shortly after. An arrival ceremony welcomed the former president and his family. Tributes during the service included remarks from Steve Ford, written by former President Gerald Ford, Ted Mondale, written by former Vice President Walter Mondale, Jason Carter, President Joe Biden, and more. All 5 living presidents were also in attendance.
He showed us what it means to be a practitioner of good works and a good and faithful servant of God and of the people.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
Jimmy Carter laid the building blocks for a better world.
Below.
We were small town people who never forgot who they were and where they were from.
Only sky.
Jimmy Carter, for me, was something of a miracle. Greatness is characterized by antitheses strongly marked. And that was Jimmy Carter.
Following the national funeral in Washington, a motorcade carried the former president to a departure ceremony at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland for Jimmy Carter's final journey to his hometown, Georgia. And of course, once Mr. Carter and his family landed in Georgia, his remains were transferred with the ceremony to the hearse before a motorcade traveled to Mr. Carter's hometown of Plains, where hundreds of people lined the streets to pay their final respects to the 39th president. Look at that crowd as the motorcade travels. You can see several waving their American flags with their phones out, taking in the unforgettable moment. WALB provided team coverage in Plains all day long for the conclusion of the state funeral service. Our very own Madison Foglio spoke with the director of the Carter Center's Guinea Worm Eradication Program, a program that the former president was very passionate about.
Mourning the passing of President Carter, and we're all sad. At the same time, we're so optimistic about the future because the foundation of what President and Mrs. Carter set up at the Carter Center is going to live into the future. So we stand committed.
Many who gathered in the small town of Plains today say they're glad they were able to witness this moment.
76, I got to vote for the first time, and I voted for Jimmy Carter, and Kevin and I campaigned for him, gave out peanuts in our county, and we went to his inauguration, and this just feels like full circle for us, coming back here to commemorate him.
The U.S. Navy conducted a missing man formation flyover in Plains in honor of former President Carter's naval service and time as Commander-in-Chief. At about 5 p.m., a motorcade arrived at Maranatha Baptist Church, Jimmy Carter's home away from home. There, his personal pastor, Tony Loudon, gave remarks.
Today, we honor the life and legacy of Jimmy Carter, a man of faith, courage, and conviction. From his humble beginning as a Georgia farmer to his incredible accomplishments as Commander-in-Chief, he challenged America to recover the sense of unity and purpose that binds people together.
Following that funeral service at Maranatha Baptist Church, Mr. Carter's remains were transferred to the hearse with another ceremony. A motorcade then took the former president to his residence, where he was buried next to his beloved wife, Rosalind Carter. For a portion of the ride, family members got out and walked behind the motorcade to the interment site, where a private funeral service was held with invited guests only on Carter property, something you don't see often. Now, we've been told a floral arrangement made of flowers left at tribute sites and sent to the family was placed in front of the headstone, acknowledging the love and support of the American people.